Hi there, it's French Vinyl coming out on another video. In today's one, I will be showing all the latest purchases I made, well, during last month. So this will be October finds kind of video. Ready for that? Let's go. So yeah, October, a pretty busy month as far as I'm concerned. I didn't have a lot of time to go to the local record store as I usually do, so I placed two different batches of records on the internet. So I made online purchases, and this is what I'm going to show you today. Starting with the first one, this is the Beatles. This is Love. This is a 2006 compilation as part of a project they had with in collaboration with Le Cirque du Soleil, as you know. So they made quite interesting versions. It's not a usual version you can find on the albums on the blue and the red album, for instance. This is some remix, some soundtrack with a lot of different collage, adding from different tastes and creating a sort of atmosphere of really interesting version, I would say. So this is the Beatles, and this is Love. And the next one is another iconic band from the 70s and the 80s as well. But this is Queen 2. This is their second album. And if you watch my channel, I already found the first album and the Sheer Heart Attack, as I'm did present on the August Finds video. And Steve, from All the Words, said you were asking me in a comment, I remember, if I had a copy of that one, which I didn't have. So now this is it. Really glad I could find UK press, original UK press in quite mint condition, you know, with this very iconic EMI label. Really cool album. Really like this period of Queen. I would say the first albums up until A Day at the Races. Now, I recently stumbled upon some radio show on the internet. Some guy put some podcast of from John Peel radio show made around 1980, 1991, and I was literally surprised how big the influence of Joy Division was for all that generation to come. We were just post-punk prior, new wave, synth pop, and I just found some great albums of the time. First one is that one, YouTube, a part of that great generation of bands. They just came in early 80, 1980s. This is their second album. This is YouTube October. And I'm giving a quick shout out to my friend, to my French friend, Vinyl Mood. Ben is a fan of that band. Made me want to rediscover this part of YouTube. He made recently a video about Joshua Tree. It's a video in French. He explained, or he tells about the story of that album, context-related story. Really interesting video. And yeah, it made me want to discover that band as I didn't quite remember. I grew up in the 90s. I grew up with, Joshua Tree, The Streets Are No Name, and really happy I found Island, a copy of that record released on the Island label. So this is an original UK press. The next one is another band of that period. This is Echo and the Bunnymen. This is Heaven Up Here album, and I really like this album too. We often discuss with Rob Walker. Let the Music Play. He's got a great channel. He often mentions bands like The Jam, XTC, Echo and the Bunnymen, and didn't have much knowledge about their works. All these great bands like Psychedelic Furs, and so I'm really happy to have found this album as well. Next one is The Cure. This is a later album. I mean later. Um, we often consider a trilogy, which consists of the album Faith, 17 Second, and Pornography. Those are my favorite albums, my favorite period of when it comes to The Cure. This is 1986. This is a little bit later with In Between Days, with Close to Me, which were massive hits on the radio station. This is Cure. And another shout out to my friend Rob Walker. He loves the Jam. This is a 1984 Japanese press of Almond Khan's album. And this is the UK. They took the UK catalog, the UK track listing because we have a Billy Hunt on that album. I not sure, but I think on the US version, this song has been replaced by another one. But as you can see, this is a pretty mean copy of that great album from the Jam. Next one is another prog album. Another is a prog album from one of my favorite band ever. This is Rush. This is Hemispheres, and I didn't have that album in my collection. I've got all the albums from the very first one up until Grace Under Pressure, released in 1994. This is the only I miss in my collection, and I wanted to have that album original Canadian press for several reasons. First, there is a Canadian, it's a Canadian band, and I'm not sure if they made that version for other releases, but this is a red vinyl. This is printed on clear red vinyl. This is an original 1978 pressing of Hemispheres, and this is a really prog album. If if you watch my channel, you know how much I love progressive music, and in they were definitely prog. Rush, they went through a several styles, several influences throughout their career. But 2112, Permanent Waves, Hemispheres, Farewell to Kings, those are prog albums. If you like prog, if you want to discover more about that incredible Canadian band, just start with those albums. Now, another prog album. This is PFM. I just talked about that album in my very previous video. I just uploaded the six albums progressive music personal selection of and another shout out to Jemmy, a Life of Vinyl. He's got a great channel, member from the UK vinyl community. Thank you, Jamie, for your recent shout out. Yeah, we agree. This is a great band. PFM, they were, early 70s Italian progressive music. They made two albums. This is the very first one released in 1972. This is Storia di un minuto. After that, they made Per un amico, and they signed under Greg Lake's label Manticore, and they started to produce albums in where they sing in English. Next is another one of my favorite album ever. This is Love. This is Forever Changes, and if I were to make a ranking, favorite albums released in 1967, this would make probably my top five or top three something. This is incredible. This is artfully very special. They didn't have a lot of success outside the US. This is a UK press. I already have in my collection the reissue 2015, which probably was not that good. I mean, the sound dynamic was not that really good to me. So I wanted to find original copy analog. I found this UK press, decent conditions. Price was very decent as well. So I jumped on that occasion. This is not an original 67. This is a later 74 pressing, but really like this band. Now, an artist I had listened to a lot when I was 14, 16 years old, something. This is Jimi Hendrix Experience. This is the first album he made with Jimi Hendrix, with Mitch Mitchell, Noel Redding. He came to the UK, started his career. Chas Chandler produced him, and you know the story. He made Monterey because Mark Cartney say this guy must play in Monterey. He later had met with success in the US, in his home country. This is the first album. This is the UK press. The US version is a little bit different. The cover is different. The track listing is different. And condition is okay. It's not a super mint record, but it's a mono. It's released on that track record, Black Label, a very iconic, and it's a mono version. And as you know, I grew up with a CD as a kid in the 90s, so I'm really glad I could find a copy of that incredible record. Also, a UK band. This is the Strobes. And you know my interest, progressive music. I think they were part of those bands. They were not prog. They were probably prog-esque, not prog, prog-esque. Such as Family, Fairport Convention. It's a folk band from the UK. The first band they were signed under the A&M label, and it's simply beautiful. It's, if you like late 60s folk sound um, from the UK, you definitely have to give a try to that band. And we don't often see the Strobes being mentioned in the vinyl community, such as Fairport Convention. Speaking about Fairport Convention, they started a collaboration with Sandy Denny. I think the album was released a little bit later. Sandy Denny joined Fairport Convention, as you know, so the Strobes. And last but definitely not least of today's selection, this is Africa, this is Demon Fuzz. This is an obscure 1970 album, jazz fusion, Afrobeat, um, very hard to describe. This is a reissue, by the way. This is not an original copy. I would love to have an original copy, but I think I will would cost an arm and leg. And this is on Music on Vinyl. And speaking about music on vinyl, I also have a copy of Closer to Home from Grand Funk Railroad on Music on Vinyl reissue 2016, and I'm really happy. Even though I prefer to go with the original whenever it's possible, whenever I find the original pressing, I was not disappointed. It's very good quality. I don't know, what do you think? If you already have a lot of music on vinyl ratio in your collection, let me know. Let other people know in the comment section. Really, really cool. And 180 gram. Yeah. And speaking about this album in a few seconds, this is really yeah, this is incredible jazz fusion. The song Disillusion is a masterpiece in my book. So if you like jazz, jazz fuzz, jazz fusion, progressive music, you could definitely listen to that one. So this is it. Hope you like it. This was the purchases I made last month, October, and ironically, I find the YouTube October album in October, which is always a good sign. So please let me know in the comment section what you think. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.